Yes, YouTube, how we doing? I hope everyone's good. So welcome back to another video. This is the second weekend in a row we are uploading. This is one of my goals this year, is to be a bit more frequent and consistent with YouTube because, I've dipped my toe in a little bit before but never been consistent with it. So that's the goal this year, is to post every single weekend. There's going to be some weekends proven more difficult than others, but that's the challenge of life, isn't it? So here we are, taking you through one of my push workouts. So this is actually my push 2 workout on my split. So I do actually write my own workouts. So I do work with a coach, but it's mainly accountability for nutrition, making sure I'm training efficiently and effectively. But, obviously being a coach myself, I write great programs for people. I love my programming. So, I write my own program. So starting this workout off, I always like to hit some lateral raises and some reverse flies before any upper workout. I just find it just helps to lubricate the shoulder joint a little bit, gets you warmed up, and it kind of gives you, a good 5-10 minutes to just kind of get in the zone before the session, before you actually get into the heavy lifts. Also, I was on the treadmill beforehand as well, so I do like to do a 5-10 minute walk on the treadmill just to get in the zone, focus on my session, go through my phone and go through the app and work out what I've got to do and where I've got to be and what I've got to lift. Then I get into those lat raises and reverse flies before getting into the main chunk of the session, which obviously we're moving into now. So you just saw me do a warm-up set. I tend to do on my first exercise maybe 3 or 4 warm-up sets, and then I'll do 1 feeder set, and then I'll get into the main working set, which you can see here. I think all of the working sets that I've recorded are the second set of every exercise. So this is the second set. I think I've got the 40s here on a slight incline. So it's not like a super high incline, it's a pretty standard incline here. I think that's about 30 degrees, which is, a great way to hit the upper chest, obviously. But pushing it far, something that I really tried to do with chest training over the past 12 months is actually strip everything back to the basics. So rather than, continuing to try and push heavier, my chest wasn't growing. So what do? Rather than continuing to do the same thing you've been doing that isn't working, change it up a little bit, and that's what I did. So I actually stripped my weights back about 20 to 30%, and focused a lot more on actually feeling my chest through the eccentric, adding a slight pause at the bottom, and then again feeling it through the concentric, and just making sure to activate and use my chest fibers properly. And then, you start to build up once you can connect with the chest properly, and before you know it, you're lifting the weights you were doing before, but with better form, better connection, you'll feel it a lot more, you get better pumps and so on. Second exercise after the incline dumbbell press, we're moving on to the high incline Smith press. So I tend to set the bench to upright here and then drop it 1 or 2 notches down. Okay, so it's a nice high incline. You can see the plates here. I think we've got 70 in total, not including the bar. I think this is the same as what I did last week, but a couple extra reps, which is, obviously always the aim. And that's what we should be aiming for within our sets. It shouldn't be fucking, adding 5 kilos, 10 kilos. You need to be just adding 1 rep per week. If you can add 1 rep to each set, and you do that for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, then you increase the weight, go back down to the bottom end of your rep range, and just repeat that cycle, repeat that process. Obviously, you can't continue to progress forever, but what you can do is, work between your rep range. So if you've got a 10 to 15 rep range, you start with 10 reps for all of your sets, build up to the top end of that rep range, which is obviously 15. You get 2 to 3 sets of 15, and then you increase the weight, drop the reps back down, and just repeat that cycle. Then, hopefully by the time you've done that for 14, 15, 16 weeks, you're actually due a new program by that point, so then you can just reset and do it again. Going back through the high incline Smith press, as I said, it's a nice high incline. I always make sure to just pin my shoulders back and keep my chest stuck up in the air. And this is something that really helped me with the connection and sensation with my chest. It's just sticking it in the air. At the top of the exercise and at the bottom of the exercise, on flies, on incline dumbbell press, on Smith press, flat movements, it's all the same. It's all about sticking your chest up in the air and making it the most prominent available muscle for that exercise. On the high incline press there, obviously worked up to 2 heavier sets and then did a back off set on 60. Which was obviously just taking it to failure there, and then moving on to incline dumbbell flies. And for me, this is honestly a really underrated exercise. I love incline dumbbell flies. You can see here that I'm not bringing my hands or my elbows all the way in. I'm actually trying to keep the dumbbells as I get to the top at shoulder width. So I just aim to fly the dumbbells above my shoulders, and then I'll drop them back down again, get a nice stretch. And you can see that I bend my arms at the bottom as well. again, that's just to increase and enhance that stretch and that sensation in my chest. So moving on to the first shoulder exercise here, the dumbbell Y raise. So you can actually see that I've got my feet up on the bench because this bench is a little bit unstable. It's not the best quality bench, so I've just got my knees up there. I would usually stand up and just lean into the bench, but like I said, it's just not a great bench. But just some tips or pointers on this exercise is don't have the bench upright. Again, you can just see it's one notch down. I just find it puts my body in a bit of a kinder position for this exercise, and all I'm thinking about here is keeping my chest against the bench and just driving my elbows up to the ceiling. I think that's one massive takeaway point for lateral raises, is not just about lifting the dumbbells up, but think about driving your elbows and your forearms up to the ceiling. And that's how you're gonna, really grow those side delts, which again, if like me, you're a natural competitor, natural bodybuilder or natural men's physique athlete, we need those big boulder delts, especially if we are competing in like untested federations like PCA or something. You're gonna be against enhanced guys, so you've got to work to the level where you're going to be able to throw some of those enhanced guys that do have bigger delts, bigger traps. What are you going to do to combat that, and how are you going to overcome their strengths by making potentially a weakness of yours a strength? One of those is going to be your side delt, so do not be shy on your lateral raise work. Another favourite of mine for side delts is the cable lat raise. You can see that I just like to set my non-working hand on the machine at shoulder width, and I'll just lean away. Put my feet in by the cable and I'll just lean away, and it's a really great exercise for the side delts here. So this is actually the final exercise. We've got the overhead rope tricep extension. It's only the final exercise because I have had some tricep or elbow issues the last couple of weeks, so I was just testing it out, giving it a go. It didn't feel great, so we just did 1 or 2 sets here. I think the 2 sets, and this is my second set, then I left it there. But I would usually like to do 1 overhead, then 1 press down, or 2 overheads. But that is me from the voiceover, so I'm just going to leave the voiceover here. We've got another little clip to end this video off, but cheers for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Tell me you're new to YouTube without telling me you're new to YouTube. I've got another posing video here that I wanted to cover. So I'm currently sitting at about 90 kilos in the morning, fasted weight. I've never been 90 kilos before. In my last bulk, before my last prep, I got to 84 kilos. So I'm 90 kilos here, still maintaining some form of abs and leanness. This is definitely the biggest and best I've looked. So I just can't wait to get this shredded. I'm 33 weeks out. I'm going to be doing a 14-week prep up to my first show, and then I've got shows all the way through the year. So yeah, you've got a busy year. This is the current physique. Drop me in the comments your suggestions as to what part of my physique you think I need to bring up the most. Give me some criticism. I'll take it on board politely and I'll implement. So that is sesh done. Obviously you can see the structure of the workout. I always try and isolate chest first, then a bit of delts, then a bit of triceps. Just for me, chest is the weak area, so it's always just trying to make sure to put most of my attention during the session onto that area, then just to run over. That's what the push workout, one of my push workouts is looking like. I think I'm about 33 weeks out from my first show, and I start prep at 14 weeks out from my first show, something like that. I'll put how many weeks out I am in the description, in the name of the video or something. But yeah, so that's how we're looking. Obviously we've just seen a little physique update, so I'm sitting just under 90 kilos. Maintained about 90 kilos for 3 weeks in a row, but I was just ill for like the past 4 days or so. So obviously that's going to affect body weight. Wasn't training, wasn't eating 100%, pretty much ate like to normal 80% of the time. But yeah, so just getting things back into motion now. I wasn't going to record this workout because I've just been ill, but I was like, fuck it. It's real, isn't it? It's real.
Not invincible.
Well, pretty much invincible, but once a year. Anyway, that's it for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you prefer the vlog style or if you prefer the workout style videos. Have a great week.